Well, a very good morning from Phuket. Welcome to the channel. I'm Tony, and today we're going to be taking a look at the area known as Panwa. So today we're going to be taking a look at a very well-known area on the island of Phuket, and that area of course is called Panwa, or the Cape of Panwa. Now this area is very popular with the discerning traveller, and the reason why I say that is there are quite a lot of very nice hotels, 5-star hotels situated right here in Panwa. Hotels such as the Sri Panwa, which is a popular place for the Thai or members of the Thai royal family to come and visit. There's also the Pullman here, the Crowne Plaza, and lots of other well-known hotels. Now I have covered this area, but it's been a long time ago, being honest, and it's when I very first started my channel and I rode around this area on my motorbike, covering it really from my motorbike. So I didn't take a really in-depth look at this area, and I want to start a series of videos, and this has been brought about by a lot of my subscribers and followers of my social media on Facebook, etc., asking me what the current position is like here on the island, because they've got forthcoming holidays booked maybe over the next sort of 12 months, and they want to know what the situation is like, because of course with the ongoing position in the world, things have changed. A lot of things have changed here on the island over the last 18 months, some for the better, some not so good, I'm afraid. So we're going to look at those, and I'm going to be as honest and as blunt as I can be, so that people that are looking at visiting over the next sort of 12 months understand the position currently here in Phuket and are fully aware of the situation and know what to expect, because it's not going to be the same as it was before by any means. We've seen a lot of closures of businesses over the last 18 months, but for now, let's start and take a look at Panwa. I will talk a little bit more as we go through the video, but now let's jump into Panwa. Well, I thought we'd start off with a little stroll along the promenade here in Cape Panwa. One of the things I love about this area is the very nice promenade, which you can have a stroll along either in the morning, late afternoon, or just sit, because there's places where you can sit along here as well and just take in the beautiful views. Now, just for your reference, I am down by the Phuket Aquarium, which is just behind me there. I don't think it's currently open. A lot of the tourist attractions at the moment on the island are closed for obvious reasons. Let's hope some of those are going to open up before the 1st of July. I'm also down by the Sri Panwa Hotel, a hotel that I hope to be covering at some point in the future, one that I've mentioned earlier. 5-star hotel, very, very nice accommodation, but I'm going to need to save up a few pennies before I can go and visit that particular hotel, unless of course the hotel would like to invite me across to do a review. Then I'd be more than happy to go and take a look. But for now, let's start and stroll down this lovely promenade. The last time I came over, there were quite a number of businesses along this stretch. Restaurants, hotels, coffee shops, those sort of businesses. And from what I've already seen walking down to this point, I've noticed quite a number of those restaurants in particular have disappeared. So we're starting off at the very end of the road. This is the main road that runs through the centre of Panwa. Not a big area by any means, but this is the main road that runs, and it ends at the Phuket Aquarium. So we have a large hotel next to the Sri Panwa that is open. And then next to that, there used to be a restaurant, a very nice restaurant actually, and it was always busy when I used to come down. It had always got customers, no matter what time of the day, whether it was morning, lunchtime, evening time, it had always got customers because of course it enjoys such a beautiful view. I mean, just take a look at this view that it's sitting opposite. I mean, who's not going to want to go and dine in a restaurant there, looking out across and seeing these views? But unfortunately, as you can see, it is no longer there, and the actual premises is now up for rent. That's a real shame, a real shame. And then next to that restaurant there is a small coffee shop. That's still there, that's been here for a while. I have been in that coffee shop. It's been a long time ago. Me and Nat had a coffee and a slice of cake over there, looking across and enjoying the views. So that is still open, so you're going to have a coffee shop to pick from. There's, I believe the coffee shop's connected to the hotel next door, but I'm not 100% sure. There's also a bank machine, so if you need to withdraw any cash, you can get cash out. Now the hotel, is it open? Not quite sure because the barriers are across there. There is a gap there, so it could well be open, but obviously not very busy. Let's now carry on walking along the promenade. Now at the bottom of here, you come to Panwa's public beach, and Panwa's beach is not one of the most amazing features of Panwa, to be honest. It's nice enough, it's okay, but of course a lot of the 5-star hotels around this area do have their own private beaches, so if you're lucky enough to be staying in a hotel with a private beach, then you're not going to worry about the Panwa public beach. But if you're not, then of course it's always good to have a public beach that you can use if you don't have a private beach at your accommodation. And we're going to take a look at the beach shortly once we get down to the end of this promenade. But I've just stopped opposite this soi. There's only really this one road leading off the main sort of stretch. As it stands currently here in Phuket, all the bars and nighttime entertainment venues are closed. Let's hope before July the 1st that some of these restrictions are going to be eased and we're going to see some of the bars opening back up, because it's not going to be very good for any tourism. The tourists that are going to come over, they're going to want to go out, relax and enjoy themselves, and if all the bars are closed, then that's going to cause issues. There's also an alcohol ban in restaurants as well on top of this, so you cannot buy any alcoholic drinks in a restaurant. So again, not a great situation, because if you want to go out for a nice evening meal, of course you're going to want to enjoy maybe a glass of wine, maybe a nice cold beer with that meal. Hopefully these restrictions will be eased in July with this reopening of Phuket. Otherwise there's not going to be too much for people to do, because as I've already mentioned, a lot of the tourist attractions here on the island are closed. So let's hope we're going to see some of those open up. I will take a walk along this soi shortly, but I'm just going to carry on a little bit further down to this commercial area here that's in front of me. Now there were quite a few restaurants and shops in that area before, but I can already see that there aren't any now. Most of them have gone. A few may be closed. Let's just have a quick walk over and take a closer look. Not a great lot to do here at the moment in Panwa. So we have the seaside beach front. I'm presuming that was a restaurant. That's obviously closed, as you can see, but I'm not sure whether they finished trading or whether they're still trading. They might just be closed. Units next door to it I can see are empty and for rent. And then we have the Swadi restaurant. Now this chain has actually two restaurants here in Panwa. There's the Swadi, which is right in front of us, and the Swadi 2, which is a little way out of this main area, just a little bit further along the main road, which we shall take a look at shortly. But I've already seen that that restaurant, the Swadi 2, is closed and it's also up for sale. So this one looks like it's just closed. Now I believe it used to be further down, so maybe it's moved. Sort of remembering that it was in a different part of Panwa. I think it was over there, but I may be wrong. I'll have to look at an older video of Panwa. It may have just moved over here, because I was going to say that some of the restaurants along here have shut as well. We have the Blue Wave, again closed. Not quite sure whether they've finished trading here, because there are some tables and chairs inside, so that indicates that the business is still there, but they're just not open at this present moment. Condominiums at the back, of course, are open. Full house. I'm not quite sure what that is. I don't know whether it's a coffee shop or a shop of some description. I'm not quite sure what that is. Maybe even an art studio. I'm not quite sure there. But let's move further along and go a little bit further down, because I want to make my way down to the beach area. As you can see, the units next to the Blue Wave are empty. None of them are taken, they're all for rent. I think some of them were rented before, but they've gone. There was a restaurant in that unit there. It may have been the Swadi, I can't remember now, but there was definitely a restaurant here, and there was one next door. But those have gone. Let me just find a way through and back onto the main part. But just look at that view. Wow, what a fantastic view. Really is nice, looking out towards the islands. Beaches in the distance there. Fantastic. So if memory serves me right, I think the Swadi was here, and maybe it's moved over there. I might be wrong. I know there was a restaurant here before, but I can't remember the name of it. I'm sort of thinking it was the Swadi. And then you have a restaurant next door. Now I know this restaurant is currently open. I know that because I was down here yesterday and the restaurant was open. So this is one restaurant that's open, one of the very few. The others were not open yesterday. I was down here later, I'm a little bit earlier today, but they didn't have any customers inside when I went past. So they're not doing breakfast, that's for sure. I guess there's nobody to do breakfast for. It's not worth them opening up. So we're now approaching the public beach here in Panwa. It's a nice enough beach, nothing to get excited about. If you haven't got one with your accommodation and you're staying in this area, then of course it's great to have it. But if you've got a private beach, then I would imagine that beach may be better than the public one that's available. But it's okay, it's got a lovely view. Looking out across the water to those islands, beautiful view. Very, very quiet, as you can see. There's nobody on the beach. Got the beach to myself. The beach isn't really something to worry about, because in this part of the island you do have access to some very, very nice beaches. We're only a few minutes away from Ao Yon beach, which is one of my particular favourites, and anybody that follows the channel regular will know that I've covered this beach a couple of times. That's 2 minutes away on a motorbike or by car. I wouldn't recommend walking there, even though it's not far, because there's a very large hill between here and Ao Yon, so you would have to walk up the hill, down the other side, and then again to get back here. And in this heat and weather it would be extremely tiring. Of course, if you're feeling brave, then why not give it a whirl. It's not that far, as I've mentioned. Very nice beach. Then you have Koh Kad Beach as well, which is positioned just a little bit further along than Ao Yon Beach. So you're sort of spoilt for beaches around here. You don't really have to go too far to find a really nice beach, if you don't have a private beach, of course, with your accommodation. Okay, so I can see the Royal Thai Navy there using the beach to launch a boat, because this building right next to the beach is the Royal Thai Navy's headquarters. So I better be careful what I'm filming, because they might think I'm up to no good. Okay, we're going to make our way now back up to that soi that we looked at a little bit earlier. Take a walk along there and see what businesses are open along that soi. Okay, let's now take a little stroll along this soi. Now, if memory serves me right, there are quite a few restaurants along here, massage shops, souvenir shops, I believe, if I remember right, that type of thing. As you can already see, we've got Stars Fashion, that's closed. A couple of premises, I'm not quite sure what they are or were. I think they were restaurants, because I can see a sign saying Indian food. There is, of course, a bar, but as I mentioned earlier, all bars are closed. And then we have a massage shop. Shoes outside indicate to me that there's somebody inside, but all the curtains are drawn and it looks closed. And then we come to a very, very steep hill, which I'm gonna walk up for the sake of my subscribers and viewers, because there's some really nice restaurants at the top of this hill, or there were some really nice restaurants. Little restaurant here. That looks like it's still here. I can see tables and chairs, possibly open, not quite sure. Yes, I can see somebody inside. We're not quite sure whether it's actually open. Right, I'm going to come back to you shortly once I've made my way a little bit further up this hill, because it's quite steep. Okay, forgive me for panting, but I'm roughly halfway up this hill. It is rather steep. For those of you who are wondering what the weather's like over here in Thailand in the month of May, well, it's very, very humid indeed. We've been having some thunderstorms in the late evening, but in the daytime, this is what it's like. There are the occasional days when it's raining, but most days, blue skies and extremely warm. You can probably see the sweat running off me. So, let's now look at what we've got around us. So to my left, there's a massage shop. It does have a sign on the window. I'm not sure whether you're going to be able to make that out, but it says open, please contact the number that they've listed. I guess the people don't want to stay there all day waiting for customers, but there is a massage shop that you can find here that's going to be open, that will open if you call that number. And then looking further up the hill, I can see what used to be another couple of massage shops and a restaurant, and that particular restaurant had a terrace at the top which had a fantastic view across the other side of Panwa Bay. But that looks like it's no longer there. Wow, it's certainly hot today. So we have massage shop closed. I don't even know whether it's still there. Oh, there is shoes outside, so possibly the business is still there, it's just not open. Then next door, that business, I'm sure you can see that's gone, because there's nothing inside of it. It's just the signs. And then that view that I was talking about across the other side of Panwa, amazing view there. Let's just take a trek across the road and show you this view. Just look at that. Oh wow, beautiful. Sitting just up there, looking out across that view. What a fantastic experience. Really nice. I can see some things hanging. Maybe it's still here, it's just closed at the moment. I can see windows open, so there's people here obviously, so maybe closed due to the current situation. Maybe later this year it will reopen up, let's hope so, because what a fantastic spot. Then next door to that, yet another massage shop, empty. Next door to that, yet another massage shop, but that one has got stuff inside, so just closed for the time being. Another massage shop, again stuff inside, and then a travel shop. Again, yesterday I noticed this was open, which really surprised me because we're not seeing a lot of domestic tourists, so there can't be much business for these shops. But not open today, or maybe it's a bit too early. Then we have a couple of shops that are empty. I'm presuming they were massage shops as well because of the signage on the front. And then next door to that we have Wetherspoons which reminds me of England. Now, me and Nat have dined here. It has been a long time ago, 3 maybe 4 years ago, but again this restaurant used to enjoy, I'm going to use the word used to because this doesn't look closed, this looks like it's gone. This restaurant used to enjoy a fantastic view. Let's just be a little bit nosy and have a walk inside. A few fish tanks left, but wow, what a shame, what a real shame. I really do feel sorry for some of these businesses. Being a business owner on the island with my wife for over 10 years, I understand the struggles that businesses go through, and the last 10 years has been a struggle. We've had plenty of ups and downs, but we've never experienced anything like the current situation that's ongoing, and it really is destroying a lot of businesses through no fault of their own. This situation is just wiping them out. What a shame. This restaurant used to stretch all the way down there. There was a bar area that you could sit if you wasn't dining, but the area that I'm standing now was obviously filled with tables. Evening time, all lit up, looking across the 2 bays. I mean, this restaurant is one that's got that view of both the one side by the seafront of Panwa as we're looking out there, and then the other side as we're looking out here. Oh wow, what a shame. Oh well, let's hope it comes back. Given time, I think it will. I think there'll be somebody who will want to rent it, buy it. I'm not quite sure. I don't see any signs for rent, for sale. So who knows, maybe the owners have just packed up for now and they will come back. Okay, well, I'm going to make my way now back down this hill, and I'm absolutely drenched with sweat. Really is pouring off me. As I said, the humidity in May, very high indeed. I will catch you once I get to the bottom. Now, I've just noticed as I'm walking back down this hill, there seems to be a spa here as well that I hadn't mentioned. Now, this does look like the business is still here. It's just closed. 300 baht for a Thai massage. It looks a really nice place. Stretches just behind here as well. Very nice to have the sort of views that we've got to the right hand side of me, to be able to relax there. Let's hope that business is still a viable business and it's going to be opening back up. At the present, massage shops have all had to close along with the bars, so they're not able to open, so I'm not expecting it to be open. Looks like a bar there as well. Part of the massage, I would have thought it would have been more like a coffee shop maybe. I don't know, it says bar, I'm not quite sure. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I'm starting to do a series of videos on Phuket as it is now. So it's basically giving you information and showing you the present state of the island. So I'm going to be covering the whole island. We're starting, the first one is this one, Panwa, and then the next one is going to be a Rawai, which hopefully should be uploaded very shortly after this video. And then we're going to move across to places like Kata, Karon, Patong, Kamalar, Bantau. I'll see where it takes us, but I'm going to do as much of the island as I can, showing the picture, how it is and what you can expect if you come to visit Phuket in the next 6 months. Of course, things will gradually improve, hopefully, if tourism is allowed to come over without quarantine. As I've mentioned before, they are now looking at opening Phuket on the 1st of July without any quarantine procedures or period, providing you are fully vaccinated. They are pressing ahead with this. Of course, you're going to need paperwork and documentation to confirm the fact that you have been vaccinated. So a word of caution, if you're planning to come out over the next sort of 6 months and you don't want to end up in state quarantine and you are vaccinated, then make sure you've got all your paperwork in order. I would recommend you check in with the Thai embassy in your own country on their website and seeing what the current requirements are, because of course that may change. So that's worth keeping an eye on, because you don't want to come over to Thailand, find you haven't got the right documentation with you, and then you end up either having to return home or go into state quarantine, because that will be a costly experience. Okay, let's now take one last look at the front here in Cape Panwa. Just coming over to the Panwa viewpoint. And it really is beautiful here. There's no two ways about it. It really is stunning. On a day like today, wow. And I've got the whole promenade to myself. Fantastic. Okay, what I plan to do now is move a short distance away from this area, just a little way along the road, going towards the Crowne Plaza and the Pullman Hotel. We're going to just have a look at that area as well while we're here. I have noticed it as I've come in this morning, and again, the picture's not great, to be honest with you. A lot of businesses and shops there closed and gone. So we're going to move along there, and I will come back to you once I get there. Wow, it is seriously hot today. So I've just arrived outside what was the Swadhi 2 restaurant, and as you can see behind me, it is not only closed but it's currently up for sale. Next door there used to be a motorbike hire shop and a tour shop. That is also closed, and it looks like actually it's gone. So no motorbikes in sight, and the actual unit there is for rent. So I'm guessing that's not going to be coming back unless somebody else opens the same type of business. And then the Swadhi 2 restaurant, you can see the sign at the top, that's for sale. Real shame. Now I believe the two restaurants, the Swadhi and the Swadhi 2, are the same owner. I may be wrong. If you know otherwise, then please do drop a comment in the comment section if I'm wrong on that, but I do believe it's owned by the same people, so they may be just keeping the one restaurant and selling the other one. And then there is a massage shop that's saying open, and the board is outside, so I'm presuming that is open. A tour shop next to that, Panwa Tours. Again, this looks like the business is still here, it's just currently closed. Looks like a load of mannequins inside, so I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Perhaps they're just using it for storage. And then walking a bit further along this road, you will come to the Pullman, which is on the right hand side, just in the dip there. There is a small Thai restaurant there. Taylor's, that's closed. What looks like a restaurant next door. Could be wrong because there's no signage outside, but I can see tables and chairs, but it could be somebody's home. I'm not quite sure. Swadhi Cap? Not quite sure there. It could be somebody's home. Another tour place closed down. The motorbike that I've come on this morning. The Panwa Cafe. That is open. I noticed that was open yesterday, and also another smaller restaurant here, again Thai restaurant. And then across the road we have the very nice Pullman Hotel. Now Nat did come and do some work here. I dropped her off here and then picked her back up late in the afternoon, but I never filmed inside. Yeah, I'm not quite sure what this is in front of me. restaurant, bar, Thai food, so I'm guessing restaurant, but as you can see from the state of it, it's not open, it's not even in business. Massage shop, well, the doors are open there, so I'm guessing that one is open. And then above it is an Indian restaurant, because it's called Curry Nights Indian restaurant. So again, I think that is open because there's tablecloths on the tables that I can see. And yesterday I noticed, it was a bit later in the day, that metal door to the right hand side as we're looking was open, and it looked like there was some people inside, so I'm guessing that is still open, which is great. So if you're looking for a curry in Panwa, you're going to be able to find it. Family Mart opposite the Pullman, closed. Not a great sign, that. There is a 7-Eleven, but there are quite a few mini marts that are closed around this area. There's a 7-Eleven further along the road going back away from Panwa that's closed, which is near the Crowne Plaza, and the shops and complex opposite is totally deserted. Most of the units are empty. There's a few units that have got tables and chairs in, but they look like the businesses are closed or gone. So not great if you're staying towards that area, but the Crowne Plaza itself is completely closed. Not even security on that I could see when I filmed that. There was no security, just looked totally deserted. So we're just going to go a little bit further, and then we're going to sort of walk back to where we've just come from, passing the Pullman. So we've got Treetops, pizza place. Again, I'm sort of guessing these might be open. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm guessing they're here. The tables are still there, so I'm guessing this restaurant is also open as well, which is good. So not a massive choice of restaurants by any means if you're coming to Panwa, but there are a few. You may pay you to hire a car, a motorbike to be able to travel around. Of course, we're not that far from Phuket Town here. You're sort of 20 minutes on a scooter, car, maybe not even that, to Phuket Town. The beautiful Pullman Hotel, really nice, very nice inside. Like I say, I wish I had filmed it. I will come back and try and film these hotels once things improve, because most of the hotels are deserted. So as I was saying, we're about 15-20 minutes from Phuket Town, from Cape Panwa. So if you hire a vehicle, you're going to be able to go into Phuket Town. Lots of restaurants open there, lots of choices, lots of things to do. I would say good choice of nightlife, but of course the nightlife is under restrictions. Let's hope by July those restrictions have been lifted so that you can start to enjoy the nightlife over here in Phuket once again. It's going to be slow to start with, of course. Well, do stay tuned for the series of upcoming videos where we're going to be taking a look at the current position across the island of Phuket. Today, starting here in the Cape of Panwa, and I do hope you've enjoyed this look at this area. And if so, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It's greatly appreciated. Well, that just leaves me to say, as always, thanks for watching, and until next time, you take care, and I'll catch you on the next one.